another game of Geometry Dash. I woke up this morning mad. I was like, how could you have died at 87% on this map? So I said to myself, we're just gonna wake up, get right to it. I didn't. I messed around on the internet. I watched funny videos. Not funny videos, you know, videos that made me say, ah, that's funny, but not funny. And technically it's labeled practice, but hey, you know, if we're just gonna forget to put it on practice mode, yeah, we're just gonna forget to put it on practice mode the whole time. Anyway, we need to practice that UFO part. We're gonna put on auto checkpoints because I always forget to set them. Hello Archie, hello CNO, good morning everyone. Nice to see you. But I am pretty confident that we'll crack this one before too long, but you know, you hate to say it because it is possible to be wrong. Alright, so I don't normally die there, but it will happen sometimes. Bad. Okay. And now we're just going to do this a couple handfuls of times, or if I do it right every time, that many times. Nope. Opinions on Wave? Wave's fun. There's no wave in this level. And so my current opinion is that I don't have to do it very often. Hello, Shar. Good morning. But Wave, I hated Wave when I first started. It just depends on the sections, right? The more space there is, the better, right? No, Wave's fine. You know, I like Ball. I'm probably better at Wave than Ball, honestly. I just like Ball. I feel like I'm good at Ball. Ah, blah. Nope. Hello, Liverpool. Bad. Hello, Romnashios. How are you? Well, then what am I planning to do after this? Dash. Dash will be the last of the insane levels to do. But I might take a look at old Skeletal Shenanigans. It apparently is part of some event thing, or was recently, and it's a couple people have told me that it's pretty cool, so I might check it out. But not to like beat. I think it's probably too hard for me. It had like a normal demon face, not an adorable little purple tiny vampire fangs demon face that indicates for easy. Ha. Yeah, and that's just where we died last night, you know, because I can't be bothered to remember the past. Except, you know, like, in other senses. Archie, you say you can watch me without getting bored? Well, that's nice, you know. I can't imagine how, but I'm glad. I'm glad. But I, you know, always happy to have you here. You said Skeletal Shenanigans was lagging for you, CNL. Yeah, I know that depending on the machine, like, there can be levels that cause that sort of problem, which is too bad. I should not have that problem. I I don't want to be like, there's not a level in Geometry Dash that could lag my machine, but like, I would be shocked if there were, because it would make it unplayable for the vast majority of all players. Not like, 80% of people couldn't play it, but I mean, my machine's probably in the 98th percentile, probably? I don't know, I would have to look it up. After Dash, I should try Theory of Everything too. The problem is that I would have to unlock it. It took me a whole lot of effort just to get the 10 coins for Club Step, which I proceeded to not be able to beat. Tommy, you said this level 2 gives 6 months to beat. It's so annoying. Well, hopefully I will do it. Well, hopefully I'll do it today, and I'll just deflate it for, you know, a couple days. Wow, okay. Alright. I have already beat Hexagon Force. I beat it earlier this week. But there's a stream of all of that if you want to check it out. It is available, both of all of the failures. Not again. Yeah, both of all of the failures and of the glorious victory. But almost all my Geometry Dash gameplay has been streamed. I probably practiced on levels for, you know, like an hour and a half total without being on, but it's basically all on the internet. So you can see both how bad I used to be and how bad I very recently was, if you're so inclined. No. Yeah, man, they already say 87% comes fast, so sneaks up on everybody. Yeah, you know, no matter how many times you do it on practice, at least if you're me, you'll just freeze up. I expect to probably mess up the ship transition too. Okay. Oh yeah, sure. I can't play on mouse because of my nerve problems. But I agree that I would be a stronger player if I could use a different input style. Unfortunately, it is not possible. Yeah, Terry, you asked if I've beaten any demons yet. I've beat 5 demons. My hardest is Death Moon. I've also beat Shiver and Platinum Adventures, the Nightmare, and the Lightning Road. Ah, come on. Do I ever get angry at Geometry Dash? Yeah, sometimes. Not like not what the kids would call big mad. I don't know if anybody says that anymore. I don't often get like super angry at it. That's usually reserved for like a game not working right, you know, or like a machine that doesn't work. But like sometimes I'll be like, why, blah, you know, like lament loudly what's going on. But not like, I don't think I've been mad for like 10 seconds in a row at it. But yeah, I mean, sometimes it can be frustrating, but I don't think like compared to how angry I get over stuff that's like, you know, in life, I would say not much. So like as you ask it, hey Natasha, good morning. As you ask it, the sound of me failing, the sound of the ship breaking repeatedly makes me far more angry than actually losing a run ever does. So like that's me. I do not have well-regulated emotions, but they don't always respond to the same things that people expect they might. Often I will become very agitated and people think that it's like something that's going on and it has absolutely nothing to do with anything. It's just like I hear something and I don't like it, and which makes it no fun to be around me. No, I'm just playing. Plenty of people like me. I've never understood why, but I do know that it's rude to ask. Ah, come on. Terrible. So, like, best example of me getting mad at video games is Tetris. Because when I played Tetris, if I ever, like, basically ever put a single block outside of where I meant to put it, I get so mad that I just hit down on the controller and scrap the whole run, no matter what. Like, it's so... I can remember on one hand the amount of games of Tetris I've played in my life where I've made a mistake and kept on going. So that's who I am. But dying in this game, I mean, how many times have I died? 50,000? 60? It keeps track somewhere, a lot, It's not like I feel like I'm good enough to where any run where I die, I'm like, oh no, I deserve to get that, I don't feel robbed. Natasha, you say you were playing Tetris here yesterday. That is very me. Yeah, it is. It is. My mom would joke that it was the only video game she was better than me at. And that led to one of the only games of Tetris that I do remember in my life where I made myself play through being mad. And I did worse than her because she's better than me at Tetris. She was right all along. Bad. Hello, Gabriel. Nice to see you again. Tom, you say Shiver's your hardest at the moment? Yeah, Shiver, that was a big challenge for me. I loved Shiver. I thought it was a wonderful level. I still think it's a wonderful level. It took me, I don't remember the exact number, 2,700 or so attempts, I think. Okay, we'll just not jump there. That is equivalently good to jumping. You can tell by the way I died. Josh, did you say literally the good thing about Tetris is to have a bad run? No, the good thing about Tetris is to get like a specifically good score, so at the end it like makes the whole building that's made in that Russian architecture style blast off into space like a rocket. That's the point. And to listen to Tchaikovsky. Shiver didn't teach me to look for fakes. It taught me at great length to hit fakes until I sometimes didn't. Hyder, you say you have the NES Tetris in your room? Nice. Yeah, that's the version I mention. That whenever I talk about playing Tetris, that's what I mean, is the one on NES. I know there are many versions of it that are equally authentic, but that was my childhood. But I at least always liked the music, because, like, to me, somebody wanting to play Tetris instead of, like, Final Fantasy or Dragon Warrior or Mario 3 or even Duck Hunt. Oh yeah, speaking of anger, the way that I feel about that dog in Duck Hunt, oh man. No person in human history had to suffer the indignity of being mocked by a dog until that game. Dogs don't make fun of people. I know you're saying there's other cartoons that did it first. That's not the point. You have Duck Hunt? Nice, yeah. It's a wonderful game. I gotta quit doing that. There's a little pinwheel there. There's one there too. No, the only the only console of historical merit that I have is the Nintendo 64, where I have recreated a lot of my family's old collection, which doesn't exist because of me, but blah. But it's possible that all of this stuff would have... Like, no, wait, the 64 does exist. It's one of my siblings' house. I remember. I didn't get rid of that. Hello, Jose. How are you? Okay. Why? Why? Okay, we can just crash every single which way here. That'd be great. Okay. But unironically, why can't we? uh. Good luck on Death Moon Hider. It's a great level. Okay, let's just crash there. 2. Excellent. Great. Good. Got to the last wave and died. That's a rough one. I died at 85% on that wave too. Did you figure out the places where you can hit like the ceiling and the floor on that final wave? When you have those, there's like a lot of breathing time when you figure out that those lines exist. Because you don't have to take them. You can just like zig and zag through the things. But I think it's a lot easier. Whenever I did beat it, I was thinking like, please don't run into the wall at 91. The wall at 91 is I never died there on a real run, but I died there on practice often enough to make me feel like blah, that would be rough. Okay. It's like I want to say let's do real runs, but if we keep on failing here, we just have to do this until I can demonstrate that I can do it right, even though I know I can. Okay, we'll just run into that there. Good stuff. Too much. Hey, what? Oh, stuck. Nope. Nope. Just a little bit too much at the apex of the climb there. I felt it whenever I did the last input. I was like, can we get away with it? But you know, the hitbox on the decline there, it seems like it sticks out just a little bit from where you want it to be. Clipping the head of poor Sir Green Blocky 10. Terrible. You mastered the first 10% of Death Moon and then moved on. You're like, nah. Well, you know, the first 10% can be tricky, but after a few thousand attempts, you know, you barely ever fail it. Serial, yesterday you almost downloaded a horse? Can't imagine why you would want a large wooden horse to be put inside of your computer. Odysseus really is getting out of line. He never stops, you know. Let's just not jump there. I bet we die there. I bet on a real run we die there at 97. That'll be poetry. Yes, I beat Geometrical Dominator many months ago. Before I took my long hiatus. Alright, let's just try this a couple more times. And then get to the attempts. We're as good at this level as we're ever gonna be, so now all we need to do is do one run. Not this run, obviously. This one started at 36%. But you know. Just one run, similar to this, but starting from the beginning. Visually and legally distinct from this run. You know. Anyway, so, Electrodynamix. 3,262 attempts. At least a couple of them were me talking to myself. Let's get it done. Thank you for your good luck wishes, Blizzard Enjoyer. Hello, Geometry Dash Enjoyer. Hello, Miko. Nice to see you again. I think I remember you from last night. As I'm sure you remember this level. As it is what we were doing then, and it's what we're doing now. Everywhere I go on this wretched island, I see its face. I'm intent on doing that quote badly as many times as possible. Why? Because I think the King Arthur movie starring Clive Owen and Keira Knightley was fine, actually. I think it was great fun. All right. Ah, blah. Well, you know, that was... I almost had a good feeling there. I was like, okay, just hold on to this. But then, you know, it was not to be. Careless. Poor performance indeed. Back to it. So, I think we, you know, after all of the failures on this map, which were ample, I think we're finally at a point of relative consistency, which we can probably ride to a single victory with courage, you know, determination and that kind of thing. Probably. And I gotta tell you, I'm feeling real courageous right now. I'm feeling like as long as Sir Green Blockington keeps getting reincarnated, we'll be able to beat this level. Maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day. Won't be right now if I keep on running into the ground. Bad. Hello, Asian Red Rock. Hello, Hamburger again. You say Electro is kind of easy for you? Yes, you know, I can definitely see how once you're at a certain skill level, this level would become kind of trivial, but I am not that good. I did, you know, I I've definitely noticed myself improving, only because I see stuff that normally I would mess up forever, and now I'm just like, oh yeah, I'll do it right. Sometimes. That was almost a whoopsie. Ah, come on. The consensus man of the hour is that Death Moon is harder than this because it is longer. But that any Electrodynamix sized portion of Death Moon is easier, but due to the length that Death Moon is harder is what the consensus is, I believe. But the consensus is also that Electrodynamix, by all accounts, should be an easy demon, that it is difficult enough for that, which I certainly find it more difficult than, like the Nightmare and Lightning Road, which, if you're familiar with those levels, I think we can all agree that they are quite easy for demons. Any level I can beat is easy. That's the rule. Blah. You say you're working on a Zodiac right now? I don't know if I heard of that one. Send it, brother. Hello, Boink. How are you? Yeah, because I had been getting various recommendations, but I get really frustrated with certain mechanics. Right, the worst of them, well, not that. The worst of them is like when there are orbs, but you have to hit them at like really specific times. Like, not, oh, don't hit this orb, hit this yellow one and not that blue one, but like, you have to hit that yellow one at a very specific time or it won't work. And I'm like, I don't want to be on this map. And sometimes that time is even kind of forgiving, but I need it to be very forgiving or it bothers me. And then there are other like mechanics that were bothering me, and then someone was like, you know what level you would love? It's long, but it's called Death Moon. And it's so old that it doesn't do any of the stuff you hate. It doesn't even know how. And I was like, ooh, that is a scintillating proposition. It shimmered in the sun. I crashed again. Guest, yeah. No, I definitely think Nightmare's easier than Electrodynamix, for sure. Hey, Butler. Hello again. Eden, I have 5 demons already. I'm just not very good. But I have beat Shiver. That was my hardest one until I beat Death Moon about a week ago. But yes, thank you for the recommendation. That is a great recommendation. Shiver is an excellent level if anyone is looking for an easy demon that is aesthetically pleasing, properly challenging, and will hone several skill sets. Then Shiver is a great choice. I'd be alright if I still had to play Shiver today. No, not really. I'd be pretty annoyed at myself. It was a nice color of blue, though. Ah, man. Have I tried Ice Pie with Metal Eye? Very briefly. It was very flashy, right? That would have been why I rejected it whenever I was trying to look for demons. Yes. What am I going to play after this? I don't know. Someone recommends Skeletal Shenanigans? Yes. Probably that. Not to beat it, but just to see what's going on there. It's been recommended by a couple people. And came quite highly recommended by someone, so I figured I would at least try it out. But it looked like, it was like a proper demon face, not a little timid purple demon face. So I seriously doubt I'm equal to the challenge, but you know, we can at least play it on practice mode and see what's going on. All right. Come on. No, 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 no! Oh, you're joking. Oh, that's brutal. Just like I said might happen. The old 97% death. Oh, man. Oh. Oh, ain't that a kick in the head. Alright, let's get back to it, guys. It was just such a light clip. Poor Sir Green Blockington. He was gonna be so happy. He was not gonna have to die here ever again. Alas, my friend. Alas, once more into the breach, safe in the place that the light can't reach. Hello, Overclover. Yeah, that's what a spike in the head. Oh well. It's all over now. Just a happy memory of that time I joked 10 minutes ago about dying at 97% when I did their on a real run. Alas. Ah, come on. Bad. How am I gonna just not hit that orb? And it wasn't like I missed it. I just didn't hit a button. I forgot that it went up there. I thought it was doing a little bounceroni. That's a technical term for a sort of pasta that you make inside of Geometry Dash, a little bounceroni. And I thought it was gonna be fine. Wrong, 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 wrong. Oh, well, you know, you gotta hit that orb too. Orange Froggy, I just got 97, just like a minute or two ago. Have I tried gauntlets or map packs? No, I have not. People have told me about them, but I've never looked at them. It could be interesting. I was doing some level recommendations the other day, and I guess one of them was, or a couple of them were entries for one of the gauntlet competitions. I don't know exactly what that entails. They were like space and alien themed. They were pretty cool. But no, I played like a weekly event level one time, and it was just too hard. I found it. It was like an insane level, I think, and it was just like too hard, right? I was like, whatever, I'm gonna go back and play demons. Nope. They have a ball that looks like Sir Green Blockington? Oh, that's good. Yeah, no, I changed my icons once. So this is not the default Sir Green Blockington face, you know. This is the mouth put slightly higher into the head. It's available by default. Whenever I first loaded up the game, it was like, oh, customize your character thing. I was like, okay, cool. And then, you know, most of it was locked, so I changed his face, and that's been me ever since. I wanted to make the icon black because that's my favorite color, but it was not available to me. And so now, you know, me and Sir Green Blockington, we're basically the same. He is my long-suffering avatar within the world of Geometry Dash, and I am his unfeeling controller in the world of reality, such as it is. And while he dies so many times, I am immortal. You say you have faith in me. Well, thank you. I'm starting to too. Like, there were a couple really solid runs in there, basically in a row, right? Like, if we're getting to like 60% a couple times in just like 5 runs, well, this is not demonstrating it. But you know, we got pretty far, and then we got to the 60% again, right? Because it was what, like 70 or whatever, and then like a 60 run, and then we got to that 97 run in the space of probably what, like 10 or 15 runs. So really, really strong consistency. Normally I'm like decent consistency, but I think actually, yeah, like once we get a run going, like every single one of them that goes could convert. You know, we've got the practice, we've got our macro fundamentals down, we've got our ability to fly into the roof just secured. You can tie a bow on our ability to fly into the roof, and anytime you need it, you just open that bow, and the gift of my gameplay will just spring out in an explosion as Sir Green Blockington again suffers for my mistakes. Poor little guy. But you know, he gets all the glory. It's not me. This is all about him. The castle is made out of green blocks, and he walks around it camouflaged. Ah, come on. How many frames per second? I mean, it's uncapped. I don't know. I have a 60 hertz monitor, so it won't matter what it is out of that. I'm sure it runs at some hundreds of frames. No, I run like beefy games at, you know, more than 60 frames a second, and this is not a demanding game. But no, I only have a 60 hertz monitor, only a 60 hertz monitor. I have a 60 hertz 4K IPS panel with 5 millisecond refresh. It's actually a solid panel, okay? I got it many years ago. Oh, geez, like 7 years ago? But anyway, it was quite a decent monitor then. I'm sure there are advances in technology and pricing structure since then. I know one can buy a comically good TV for incredibly affordable prices nowadays. I don't own a television. I do. I have a CRT television to play my Nintendo 64 on, but I don't have like a proper television, right? No. Yeah, it's I'm pretty sure I have it like uncapped or whatever, right? Cuz it's blah 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 blah. Yeah, I guess I had it to 120. I'm sure it makes no difference at all. But this will make everybody happy. Because, like, people always want to make excuses for me, right? They're like, it must be this or that. But they don't even know I'm playing on a controller. They're like, perhaps you have input lag. I'm like, no, I'm bad. I'm bad and I'm playing on a controller. But much less problems with button sticking here. They stick on the holds, I think, is typically the problem we were having. And of course, in Death Moon, there's so many more opportunities to hold in a proper run than there is here, where you very rarely need to hold the button down. Okay, so now you guys are going to give me an aneurysm. So now I'm just like, I don't care. I'm just gonna go back to how it was and never ever listen to anyone again. My game was running fine. See what happens when you give me advice? no requests in the title. I need to have that before it says Geometry Dash. Like, I'm not trying to call anybody out, but have y'all noticed how little people want me to actually beat a level? They will just show up and be like, hey, don't play this level anymore. Play something else. You don't want to beat the thing you've been working on all day and all day yesterday. You want to do something else. I don't. I want to beat this. I don't want to do anything else. I don't mean you specifically, just like in general. No requests live. NRL. Hey, Anosa. How about if I beat Electrodynamix, I'll take level requests? Probably not. The last level request stream that I did gave, in the first one, all of them made me feel very anxious and were not at all, like, I don't want to say they weren't fun for me, but they involved a large amount of social elements that are not enjoyable to me at all. And I found it overall just a very stressful time, which is the opposite of what I play games for. Like, I want to have a good time. I don't want to, like, worry about meeting people's expectations or, like, because here's the thing about me. I hate doing what people ask me to do. I don't ever want to, like, incentivize somebody to ask me for something. So doing a thing where I ask people to ask me to do a thing is, like, against my very nature. And then also, yeah, sometimes people try to spike you with bad levels and bad words and stuff, which had they didn't get me. Their behavior was suspicious, and then they said a bunch of slurs in chat. So I figured out pretty quickly that I shouldn't have gone to the thing they were trying to get me to go to. But anyway, if I do level requests in the future, it's not going to be like from that stream. I'm going to have to get them like beforehand, have the levels mapped out, have like times that I have set to spend on each one or whatever, because it just, look, a lot of stuff that people find to be just totally normal and easy, I find to be very, very stressful. And if I don't have like a plan and set of expectations for how I'm going to do a thing, it's not a good time for me. So just the format of those streams in general, I need to be much more deliberate about it, or they won't be enjoyable for me. Just felt like I've talked about that for a long time now. Bather, you say you feel like one day I'll be a top player? That is... What other kinds of stuff do you think? No, I'm just playing. Thank you. That's very generous of you to say. I don't believe I'll ever be a top player, but I am an enthusiastic player at the moment. You know, I'm still enjoying learning and picking stuff up. The thing about me and my interests is they are very streaky. So, like, it's possible that one day I'll just wake up and be like, I don't care about playing this game anymore, which happened before once already. But I'm having a blast right now with it. And ultimately, that is what matters to me. Bad. Have I beaten Club Step? No, I did say about 1,000 times during my 2,667 attempts to beat Club Step on practice mode, I'm never going to beat this level. And then after I finished up the practice mode, I never went back. Now, this is just like a month and a half ago or so. I was trying Club Step right before I went over to Death Moon. All the things I was complaining about on Club Step, they were like, on Death Moon, you won't have that problem. And Nosa was just trying to get me to keep playing Geometry Dash, I think. Very clever. Alright. No, come on! How did I jump off that early? Feels bad. You know, sometimes you can just hit the button too early, and that is what it looks like when you do. Poor Sir Green Blockington the ball, twirling off into space. Well, not space, the spike's immediately above his head, but you know, space. Whoops, too early. Yeah, the orb missed my icon. Pro tip, react fast when playing Electrodynamix. That is a good tip. Wow, a lot of chat. All right, let's get through some of this. No, I have not been Club Step. We talked about that, but you say you don't see the appeal in looking for levels that are clear to art for better. You know, I don't. Who knows why other people like the things they like, though. But Rubber Cake, yeah, we've done a bunch of practice. So for perspective, you know, 97% in normal mode. So why would we try beating it in practice if we can get to 97% in normal mode? But also, you know, we've got 3,318 total attempts here. We've done, you know, 36% to basically the end. We've converted numerous 65 sort of neighborhoods to the end. We know this level. All we've got to do is make it work. But I would say, in general, a person with a 97% on a level does not need to go back to practice unless they want to practice a specific segment. But specifically here, it is always good advice to practice, but we started off the stream with a bit of, I think, very fruitful practice that warmed us up for some sections. And if you're thinking, this is warmed up, look, I was even worse when I started. No, bad. Miko, you say I should change out texture packs for how my menu looks? Maybe someday. No, it's... Menu seems fine to me. I go between wanting to mod a ton of things about a game and then wanting to be, like, sort of less... bad. Less modful. I'm working on the pack I want to play with on Oblivion right now. I think I had like 20 I was working with, but I think I'm going to pare it down to just like 5 for like and see how they work before I change up a bunch of it. But I was playtesting some of them in the early hours of the morning after I stopped playing Geometry Dash, and I think I've got a stable load configuration and they all appear to be working fine. I'm not getting any crashes, so that's exciting. Rebalancing of the game mostly, if you're curious. What needs modding in Oblivion? Everything. The game's great. It's just the way it is that's flawed. No, why? Hello, Reddy White. You say this is your favorite official level? I like Clutterfunk a lot. I really liked Clutterfunk. I thought the gameplay was great. I liked the aesthetic. Hey, Donjvi, how are you? Welcome back. I shoot all the V2 levels. I've played a couple of them on practice and stuff, and I thought they were interesting enough, but if you put a bunch of fake orbs in a level, I'm just not going to play it. Okay. You say you're surprised I said your name correctly? I just did my best, you know. I'm not gonna lie to you and tell you I knew how to say it before I tried. But I saw the characters after it, so I figured it would be Dawn rather than Dan. And then I just, you know, winged it with the rest. Nope. No, I felt it. I felt how bad it was. I was like, nope, it's too much. I could feel the input was slightly too long. Sometimes I will hopefully say no before I die so that you guys know that I know I'm about to suffer the consequences. And by me, I mean poor Sir Green Blockington, who really is the one who suffers in all of this. It's, oh, come on, not again. So, you know, the shelf there is safe, but if you get right at the corner where it meets the incline, it's not. And I've tapped it, it must be like 20 or 30 times. I mean, that's just 1% of the attempts, right? So it sounds like more than it is because I've been here 3,000 times. Nope. Yeah, French fries, 97 for sure. I just barely clipped the top of my head on the decline there, and otherwise it was home free. But it's not home free. It is back to the grind, right? But I've got a good feeling. I really wanted to do it like right afterward. That's the only great feelings I get in Geometry Dash is when I botch a level and then like turn right around after just a couple of attempts and push it in, like what happened on Platinum Adventures. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna demonstrate that that was a fluke and that actually I am good enough to beat the level. I mean, that's the plan. It's always the plan. It is just the implementation that occasionally leaves something to be desired, right? Nope. Too high. Sorry for tapping the microphone there. You know, you hit the portal too high, and I don't even know if there's a way to correct it if you hit the portal too high. So, you know, I should endeavor to not hit it too high, right? Jared, you say, if I can read this, we're no strangers to love, you know the rules and so do I. I just wanna tell you how I'm feeling. You know, that kind of thing. I know I sang that bad. You know, it's hard to hear your own voice with headphones on. Also, I can't sing. No, I would have tried to go way deeper, right? Because he sings it in like a baritone, which I sort of have a baritone, but I would probably like drop a range to make it easier to hit the chorus. A break? I've only been playing for an hour. That is thoughtful, though, but no. 1 hour is quite too early for my normal break, you know. Normally I look up after like 3.5 and I'm like, what? Alrighty. It's funny how, like, how learning a level works for me. Because I'll go through a period of, like, sometimes a couple of thousand attempts where it doesn't feel like anything's happening, and it doesn't feel like my practice is fruitful, and then it just, you know, click is the best word for it. It all clicks into place. There's a satisfying click, as if you have just put a component of a machine into another component right where it's supposed to be. And then all of a sudden I start playing better. You know, it may not always happen, but it does sometimes happen. So we just need to pile on that feeling. Oh, come on. Feels bad. Like, just, yeah, let's straight fly into the roof. Ridiculous behavior. If only it was marked with some little triangles that would let me know that I would die if I ran into them. Or if only it was colored like a solid wall. Ah, man. Nope. How did that live? I was already wincing from hitting the wall. Okay, and then I just stopped playing. I was so sure that we were dead 3 different times in that ship section that I just stopped playing, essentially, and then died at the UFO instead. So, smart. Good. Great. I mean, it's not like we would have beat it there. We would have died to something else. Hello, Googler. Ah, bad. Hey, Green Machine. Spider-Man, if you say that's what happens with Club Step, you think it's impossible and you come back and do it? Maybe. Man, there is this ship section in Club Step that I must have failed on 500 times. And after I just bashed through it and moved on, the background was yellow. And if y'all know the level well, you probably know what I'm talking about. It's probably about halfway in-ish, and the background was yellow. And there were these pretty sharp ship corridors. Sharp ship corridors. Why do I choose words that are impossible to say in sequence? These are questions unlikely to be answered today. Oh, come on, not again. It's all the more heartbreaking because I definitely can beat this. I just can't prove it, you know? You have to... It's not enough in Geometry Dash to say you think you can do a thing. You just gotta have the little 100% on the board. You gotta have it say level finish. That's the only thing that matters. What you think is more or less irrelevant. What I think is that I should probably shut up and start paying attention. It's getting to that point in the level. Nope. Bad. Hey, random basketball player. You say you saw BB Death Moon. Good job. Good luck. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. As someone says, like, when you spam checkpoints, you don't really get better than when you're practicing to get through. Yeah, like, I was practicing to try to get through the segment, but then I think I just spammed to get through. Or at the very least, I could get through the segment, but not reliably at all, and then I just pushed through anyway. I don't really remember. It was agitating me. I didn't love my club step practice session. I don't remember it super distinctly, but I remember being annoyed. Like, far beyond what normally happens in Geometry Dash. I remember thinking, I shouldn't even be playing this level, this is too hard. Thought we were dead there. Aw, come on, bad. Okay, we'll just miss that. Yeah, skeletal shenanigans. Yeah, I do want to do that. Definitely in practice mode. Yeah, people have told me. Many people have said that it's pretty cool. I guess it's a map that came out pretty recently. But yeah, I've saw that it was labeled, you know, like a real demon, not like a little baby cute fanged demon like the easy demons. So I certainly don't think I'm going to be trying to tackle it, you know, for real. Certainly not anytime soon anyway. Oh, come on, bad. Say club step is cool, but then like it haunts you as you climb the ladder. There's so many club step inspired demons. Yeah, there's a couple of levels that people have sent me, or like levels that we've done on practice where I'm like, this is that ship section, that section of ship play. Why can't I find a way to articulate these things that don't involve saying the word ship around anything else? It doesn't matter. And I was like, I don't want to do this. This is club step. You can't make me play it again. I don't want to. Okay, that's fine. Have I tried playing any platform levels? Not like extensively. There was one, it was this tower, and you climbed up it, and there were coins and stuff. It was one of the first ones that anyone ever sent me for like a custom recommendation. And it was one of the first ones that wasn't a troll. And I thought it was really cool. And then there was some like temperature-based one that somebody sent me the other day, but I didn't end up finishing it even on practice. It was very cool, though. I've played a couple, you know, briefly, but not. I don't think I've even beaten any platformer level. All right. No, come on. Too slow, too fast. Just pick one in the middle. Why can't I be more Goldilocks? Is it because I'm bald? Pfft, blah. Yeah, Spittermouth. I beat Death Moon Saturday night, Sunday morning at midnight. It was a very auspicious victory. Back to failing there, I guess. Yeah, well, you know, it took 7,035 Death Moon attempts. But ultimately, I reigned victorious. And that's what matters. I haven't used this metaphor, but I think about it. It's like running a marathon, Geometry Dash is, right? People are impressed if you're like really good at running a marathon, like world class, and they're impressed if you're not. But nobody's more impressed because you're like an hour faster at running a marathon than a slow person is. They're the same amount of impressed with you as the slow guy, you know. Only the winners are lauded more, and then everybody else is the same in a marathon, right? I'm not impressed by your marathon time, only that you ran it, unless you won. And that's what Geometry Dash is like to me. And I'll never be the winner of this race. But I can apparently come in through the portal wrong all the same. Oh, I'm not a human, Baldman. I am a robot concealed cunningly within this human body. And one day I'll fly away in the morning. Spread my big robot wings. Y'all know that song, I Am Not a Robot by Marina and the Diamonds? That's a good one. Ah, come on. Exactly, Tristan Ivanov. I am, but not a human. Look, if you ask yourself, what was a robot's idea of a person be? It would be me. It wouldn't understand simple symbolic interactions. It would give you long-winded explanations you had not asked for about topics that you were not interested in. I'm a robot. A totally synthetic human being. But you know, if you prick me, do I not bleed? Hath I not eyes? Hath I not lips? Etc. Ah, come on, Dad. Whoops. You beat 19 easy demons. I beat 5. No, did you say your hardest Hexagon Force? Hexagon Force is a hard level, dude. I just beat Hexagon Force for the first time just the other day. Yesterday? Yesterday? No, 2 days before then. Every day is the same if I don't have to work. Just a wonderful day of sitting in my chair and looking at the flashing lights. I died again. Alright. No, come on! Why do I keep doing that? Just slightly too early. It would have been fine. Would have been fine if it wasn't slightly too early. But now look at poor Sir Green Blockington at the beginning. Again. Poor guy. But at least he keeps a very straight face about it. No frown to be seen upon the visage of Sir Green Blockington the Long-Suffering, who, after all, is used to this sort of treatment by now. Come on! Yeah, I beat Deathmoon. Easy, beat Deathmoon about a week ago. 7,035 attempts. It's like I said a lot while I was playing it. We're playing it until we win, or give up, or quit the game. And we did not quit the game, or give up. Hello, Kit. How are you? Emmett, you say you're trying to beat Slaughterhouse, 65,000 attempts so far? Yeah, you know, I've heard of that one. I was suggested it by a person who wanted to see me suffer a bit. I had a tremendous amount of trouble with the first jump. I think that's the Slaughterhouse. It's like grayish, and it looks like you're jumping through some rows of teeth at the very beginning. And I just remember thinking, you can't even get through this. But I suppose there's a way. I think that's Slaughterhouse. You know, there's a lot of abattoir-themed ones. You know, you've got Bloodbath, Slaughterhouse, blah, 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 blah. A lot of very heavy metal names. And since I don't, you know, play any of them... Ah, come on, why am I the way I am? Have I seen a video of Slaughterhouse? Not of, like, the full thing. I've only just, like, looked at the front of the level. I don't really watch Geometry Dash content. And by don't really watch it, I mean I essentially never watch it. Every now and then, I'll, like, check out a video that someone in my viewer community has put up or whatever. Or like when my man Bouncy Block rocked out on Sonic Wave, I went over and checked that stream out after. I wasn't watching it live or anything, but yeah, so almost all levels I only know from reputation, even if I've seen the first couple frames of them. I don't like go and look at a thing afterward. There are a couple where we got the auto-scroller version so we could see it, like the gangster rap thing, and then I think Tidal Wave, Once Upon a Time. Yeah, Tidal Wave, that was the one where they had like an auto-scroller level where people wanted me to check it out. Sometimes the troll levels brought people. I think when I was trying to get through the very first part of Tidal Wave because people were trolling me and I didn't realize it was the hardest level in the whole world. You know, it's not now, I know, but someone comes in, they're like, "You're trying to beat Tidal Wave?" I'm like, no, people are just picking on me. Ah, come on. I so thought I had that. Oh well. Clearly I was wrong. You can tell by the way I exploded. My username is Geometry Dash. I don't have an account. I bought it on Steam. Ah, bad. What do I play with? I play with an Xbox controller. And man, let me tell you, it is not designed at all to have the A button pressed 100,000 times a month. It's just not. Ah, bad. What level will I go for next? Dash. Dash is next on the list. We're going through the mainline insane levels that I skipped whenever I jumped to demons. Because Dash annoyed me because I didn't understand the game mode, right? Which is a bad reason to abandon a level. I should have just learned how it worked. But I didn't, and I didn't want to. I was throwing a fit. I do that sometimes. You'll notice it if you're around much. I'm like, I'm going to take my ball and go home. I don't want to play this game anymore. You know, that kind of thing. Only, like, even more petulant and obnoxious than that, typically. I can really go off if I get slightly annoyed. I get distracted by my annoyance, and then before long, you know, totally out of proportion to what's going on. Like, whatever happened at 20 whatever % on Dash, you know, but that's the next thing on the list. Because I abandoned Electrodynamix, Hexagon Force, and Dash for demons, because they all annoyed me in some non-distinct way that I don't really remember. But, I mean, it's all online. I could go back and figure out what I was complaining about, but look, the explanation I give for being annoyed is probably not even that germane to the real thing. Omniscient, you asked the hardest level I beat, Death Moon. I forgot to jump. What's happened? Romanian Geomapper, I am failing to beat this level. That's what's going on. But, you know, I think we all have a good feeling about it, even though you've just seen me run into that spike at the beginning of it. I think we're all going to agree that that barely even happened, except in the way that it did, just again. Oh, this looks... Ah, the spider to crawl on the walls, that's right. Yeah, it made me mad. It didn't seem logical to me, and I didn't like it. I was like, I liked this game because it was simple, and now it gets less and less simple. Like, when I started, I was like, oh, finally, a game with one speed, you go in one direction, you know, you just react to what you can see in front of you, and everybody's laughing at me. They're like, yeah, that's the game you're playing. And then they sent me Verdant Landscape. How many tips do I have? Oh, 3,400 or so probably now. Something like that. It was 3,300 when I last checked. Oh, no, you joking. Not again. Not again. Careless. Bad. Oh, well. I just like running into that ceiling, guys. I can't explain why. Something about it. I'm just like, what if I ran the ship directly into it? Wouldn't that be good? Oh me, oh my. Geometry dash from 1 to 10. Oh. I mean, probably a 10, right? It's probably the greatest game of its genre that exists, right? The addition of like user-created levels and you know, like difficulty tracking and ranking and stuff puts it probably above every other rhythm game that I've ever heard of, but I confess that I don't know like how big the world of rhythm games is truly, but I think probably Geometry Dash is the finest of all of them. Inspiring that it was made by a single guy, but you know, then you have like the community aspect of it. So that's what complicates it, right? Because if you gauge a game made by all the fan-made content that's ever been done for it, that's not really the game that was created. That's like judging the bones of the game, right? I don't know. It's an interesting philosophical sort of ship of Theseus thing, you know, like, because if the bulk of what makes the game great is the creativity of people doing it, then this game itself is merely the greatest canvas, and the greatness of the game is not inherent to the game. That sounds dumb, you know. I'm not sure. But anyway, probably the greatest rhythm game. Did I beat a demon yet? Yeah, I beat 5 demons. My hardest is Death Moon. But 2 of the demons I beat are definitely easier than this. Slugger, you say you're trying for ACU again? Well, good luck. I've heard of that one. I know a lot of people try to tackle that one. Hello, Demo. How's it going? Welcome to my stream of failures. Nah. I mean, we hit 97 earlier. That's not a failure, except in the sense that we didn't win. So, you know, definitively a failure. But not subjectively. Ah, man. Too swoopy. Thought I was dead a couple of times, and then I was, alas. What you call me? Targan is what most people call me. If you see somebody call me by my real name in chat, it's usually a person I know. Oh, man. That's obnoxious. That was so close to not being wrong, but very clearly was wrong. I even said to myself, now jump here. Didn't do it. Didn't do it. Froze up. Feels bad. Oh well, back to it. Echo, what level we played of this? We're playing Dash. Ivanov, you ask if Minecraft's my favorite game. No, my favorite game is called Final Fantasy VI. It is, as the name indicates, the 6th entry into the Final Fantasy franchise. I love it very much. Every single thing about that game was formative to the way that I view society and the way things are, and the world, and my philosophy was very heavily influenced by Final Fantasy VI and the narratives found within. Indeed. 3 America. Whenever I had it, it was FF3, you know, on the Super Nintendo. But 6 is the actual number, and by long-standing personal convention, I never call it 3 anymore. Okay, drifting up too much. Got stuck on the fireball boss in the village? Yeah, you need to revisit that. Because that's quite early, isn't it? But that's actually, so spoilers, but you just need to play that fight for a period of time. You need to not give up on that fight. And you need to keep your party members up. The fireball boss in the village, if memory serves, you're talking about like the fireball in the first village you go to after the beginning of the game. So FF6 starts, you are Cecil, the Dark Knight, and you have your friend Kane. You get yelled at by the king. He's big mad at you, and he says you need to go to this village and deliver this package. All right, so far so good, right? You go, there's like an overworld section, there's a cave to go through, and a mist dragon at the end of the cave. Right after that is a village with the fireball boss, and it's the only place in the game that Oh, that's Oh, sorry. I'm thinking of Final Fantasy IV. Fireball boss in a village in 6? I don't even know what you're talking about. Sorry. I'm like... way off. I'm like, Cecil the Dark Knight. I keep talking, I'm like, wait, no. This is the wrong game. I don't think I know. I don't think I know what you're talking about. Maybe I just wouldn't perceive it as the fireball boss because I would think of it in a different way. Like, the only fireball boss I know in Final Fantasy is literally that guy at the beginning of 4. But funny that I described in detail the beginning of the game before I realized I was talking about the wrong game. We did have Final Fantasy IV on Super Nintendo as well. Of course, back in those days, we called it Final Fantasy II. I crashed. Yeah, 3. Okay, so I'm just going through every single boss in 3 in order in my head. Oh, in the Village of the Magi, where the village is burning down and it's inside of the house. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that is a fireball boss. Absolutely. I just always think of it as the village burning down and not the fireball boss. Yeah, you got it. Yeah. No, I totally get what you're talking about. Yeah, that part can be a little tricky if you're underleveled. Yeah, that's much later in the game than I was talking about whenever I was conflating it with 2. I'm like, I'll think of what it is. If it's in 3, like 6, I'll be able to remember it. But yeah. Yeah, we're the village where you get Realm and Strago. I love Realm. Yeah, that's a part where being underleveled will really get you, because when in 6, how it goes is when you get new characters, if you haven't like met them before or whatever, they'll get pushed up to your level, which is bad because espers provide stat growth when you level up, right? But it's good so your party's at your level whenever you find them. But if you're low level and you get there, then Realm and Strago will be low level, and like Strago goes into the house with you, right? Because Realm is like passed out on the floor, if memory serves, and he's like not very strong because he's a wizard, but you gotta have some wizardy stuff to do with him. But if he's higher level, then he gets a little more punch going on, because he's like a blue mage, so he doesn't have access to most good abilities when you first get him. Yeah, it would let you go back because it's like you're inside the city, and then you wake up in the night and go there. But I would think that your save point would let you go outside and level up before that night of going to the inn. But it could be tricky because you would need the inn to get your resources back theoretically. But there would be ways around it, from buying, regenerative items and such. Bad. Hey, Kiki. Nope. Yeah, it's pretty funny when the random background music syncs up with the level. Nope. Come on. Why am I the way I am? Alas. You know, just keep on running into the ceiling over and over. It's because I'm telling myself to remember to input, and then I just do it right too early. Because there, if you only got a little bit to start hitting it, or you run to the ground. But if you start too early, you know what happens. Blah. Should you say everyone, including you, has problems with ship game mode? You know, it can be tricky. I normally do alright with it, but I mean, the ship sections are the hardest ones in this level. The hardest sections. So, it makes sense that I'm dying on them. They're the places where all the speed is at, you know, all the precision is really required. Not this one, but you know, later. I mean, the early UFO, there's a little bit of it, but basically the only hard parts are the 3 fast ship sections, right? Because while you can die here, it's not prima facie difficult. Nope. Blah. Yeah, it's the rest that makes it safe for sure. Because there are large sections where, you know, I mean, this whole early part, I mean, it's sort of tough to learn, but, I mean, you're hardly going to die on the first 20% of this level a lot. I did not do that to be funny. I would never fail at a video game to be funny. But that is amusing. I'm addressing you wonder why not the song. 1, copyright, and 2, because if I had to listen to the same song 3,500 times, I just wouldn't. I would turn the game off. I know there are people out there that listen to the songs, but they are, as they say, built differently. Just composed entirely out of different materials than I am. They are made of stardust and carbon. I am much weaker than all of that. But I have an extreme dislike for repetitive sounds, and I certainly, even a song that I love, don't want to hear 1,000 times in a day, especially if it's getting cut off randomly. Aw, come on. Feels bad. Okay, let's just not jump there. Hello, Zenith. Welcome back. Do I have an account on other social media? Not for my YouTube, no. I have like a personal Discord that I talk to my friends on, but I don't have like a YouTube Discord or anything. And I don't use a smartphone, so a lot of the more modern social networks are meaningless to me. I used to have a Facebook account, like a personal one, but I got rid of that a few years ago because, you know, it went from trash to slop, and I figured I'd had enough. Do I click the spacebar or the mouse button? Neither. I am a controller man. I play on the Xbox controller. Do I have another stream app? No. They talk in pictures on Twitch, and I find that habit to be perplexing and aggravating. Like I said, you know, I don't use a smartphone, so all the picture talking people do is not for me. Also, I don't like it in general. I prefer words. I think I understand them just fine. I think the addition of symbols creates ambiguity rather than precision in language, and I'm not for it. A picture is worth nothing to me. No amount of words. But, like, people tell me sometimes that I should get Twitch or whatever, but, like, I would just go there and then people would do the face of the one guy that's laughing or whatever, and then I wouldn't get it and I would just ignore him. So, like, what's the point, right? Because, like, while I am a very online person and I've been watching, like, gaming and stuff on YouTube for, like, 18 years... that, like, I never really watched the streamers, so back whenever I was starting, none of the guys that I watched streamed on Twitch, and then by the time that they might have started, I didn't care to, you know, figure out what all of the pictures meant, and all the silly fake words that they do. And since I would be, like, actively antagonistic to their whole, like, website's culture and way of life, I figured just best not to go there. Like, what am I going to do? Sign up at an account and then insult everybody in the chat for the way that they like to talk? I mean, I'll do that here, where they can't see. The demons I have beaten, Rokupa, you ask? I have beaten Shiver, Platinum Adventure, Lightning Road, The Nightmare, and most recently, my hardest, Death Moon. Okay, let's just miss there. Don't input right when you hit the portal, I said. So just don't input at the orb right before the portal. Equivalently good. Theoretically identical. Virtually indistinguishable. Bad, bad, bad. Yeah, I don't do level music both because of copyright and because of the effect that repetitive sounds has on my psychology, which is deleterious. Repetitive sounds, they're abrasive to me. They grind away my resolve to behave like a human being, as if sandpaper is against my forehead. And before very long, there is nothing left of the English-speaking man you see in front of you, and it is just a shrieking animal adorned with a mustache who wants the sound to stop. And that is why I do not have the sound on. Close, but it worked. Okay, we could do that instead. That's good too. We could just crash into the ceiling at a very different but almost identical point to before. Excellent. Awesome. Well done. All right, back at it. Okay, that's fine. Hey, Manic Man, what's up? We are failing. But the 97% is a nice hook. It's like, it says to people, look, watch this guy not do it, but he could. He could. Would have been so much nicer if we had just not clipped the poor bald head of Sir Green Blockington. But, you know, you can't go back in time. Or so it's been explained to me. Oh, okay, we could do that. We could we could do that too. That's different than running into the ceiling at 71 and a quantifiable 3% different kind of way. Now you may say that's exactly the same as what killed you earlier, but it's not. It was slightly ahead of it, and that makes it better? Question mark? Different. That was almost a little bit too swoopy, but it worked out. That was a little close, but it's no problem. All right. All right, that's fine. That's oh me, oh my. Well, you know. Tangent Gaming. Yes, we do almost have the same name. They are different in a number of ways, but if you just blink at it, it does sort of look the same. I confess, whenever I saw your name in there, I was like, is somebody impersonating me again? Every now and then I have to ban somebody for, you know, making my name with my T icon and talking in the chat to me. It usually happens because they're being obnoxious and I'm ignoring them, and then they make me ban them by, you know, pretending to be me. which nobody could be me. I have to pretend to be me so hard just to be the me that you see, and these people are coming in and thinking that a name and an icon is enough to pretend to be me. Insufficient pretense is what I say to them. Insufficient indeed. Okay, we could just not fly again. We could just run into the ground. That's what's hot on the streets. People are just gonna like run their rocket ships into the little ground. Man, let's just do it repeatedly in a row. That would be fun. That would be great. That would show promise. You know, overreacting to things while trying to correct them is sort of my life, right? Because all of those deaths happened because we'd been clipping the ceilings too much, so I was telling myself, don't hit the ceiling, don't hit the ceiling. No matter what you do, don't hit the ceiling. And you know, I didn't. I didn't hit the orb either. Not perfect. Hey Oppenheimer, how are you? I know, so you say you should stop saying go at this point. I've broken your heart and crushed your dreams. I'm sorry, man. You know, that's how it goes. Little by little, all the faith people have in me will melt away, like a glacier. Nope. No. Overcorrection at the top. Felt it before it happened. I thought I'd eat it too, but it was, you know, the ship moves so fast that you got to do it right. You can't correct it later. I should have just went with the loop and tried it. I just got a little nervous at the peak of the climb and tried to fix it. Didn't work. Ah, bad. Hey, Rizaku. Hamid, you say what games I stream you stream? Well, thank you. I play Minecraft also. I play hardcore Minecraft, and I'm on day like 460 or something in my world currently. I'm building a big river there and a lake. I play that, a bunch. And then recently I was playing Oblivion Remastered, and I'm probably about to start up that again. I also play Celeste from time to time. I've played a couple handfuls of games on the stream, but this, because I've had my channel for like 11 years, right? Almost. And I've played a few different games over the time. I only started playing Minecraft like a year ago, but I played Stardew Valley this year. I played Hades, but right now I'm sort of in between games, so it's just Geometry Dash and Minecraft and the last little bit of Celeste that are on my plate, and Oblivion Remastered, which I'm not quite done with, but crashed there. Yes, good good job, Inosa, indeed. Yes, you're killing it. But without being too dismissive, I to the person whose message was held, nobody knows why anyone on the internet is popular, and if you have a streamer that you like more than me, I get that, and I urge you to support them. But they probably wouldn't love you like coming into some other minor streamer's stream and insulting them using their name, probably, because I've never heard of that person, and I want good things for them. But I doubt they want you to, like, be like, this guy sucks, watch this other dude instead. Like, I mean, maybe they're a jerk, but I bet they're a nice person who doesn't want you to do that. And anyway, I am bald, but I am not dumb. If you think you're smarter than me, good for you, man. Good for you. I'll take the Pepsi challenge. I was a National Merit finalist. I'm poor because I'm crazy, not because I'm not smart. We got the old jazz flute going on here. I feel like I'm watching Anchorman. Did I beat Hexagon Force Milo? Yes, I did. I beat it just the other day. And, if the accident we'll beat this level too. We've tightened up a lot of sections and gotten what I would call very decent consistency through big early sections of it, but we keep choking. Of course, you've seen the 97%, so you know that the theory is all there, and most of the implementation. We just got to string it all together one last time. Well, there you go. Thought it was a good line. Got clipped by the top there. Feels bad. Real Berg, you asked, have beaten any demons? Yes, I beat 5 demons. Nightmare, Lightning Road, Shiver, Platinum Adventure, and most recently my hardest is Death Moon, which I beat in an elegant, a beautiful, a graceful 7,035 attempts. Bad. Alright. Well, I will deal with this. Alright, back to the grind.
Let's go then, you and I. Nope. Nope, nope. Come on. There we go. There we go. No, I felt it. I felt that it was wrong. I knew it was a bad line. We're marking it in the title anyway. A 94% fail is good enough to mark, even though we've got a better one. Alas. R.I.P. the B.I.G. You know, I really felt like that one might have been it, but, you know, it was not to be. Hey, Renee, how's it going? Been a while. Nice to see you. Blah. The next Zoink. Oh, come on now. Even I know who that is. Look, you ain't Michael Jordan because you can make a free throw. Blah. How am I doing? Oh, I'm doing good, Renee. You know, it's my second day off. Things are fine. I want to beat this level because I've got some errands to run, and I desperately wanted to beat it in this video. But man, I don't know. Don't know if it's gonna work out for me. This song has got some nice owls in it, so that's nice. You know, you never know when your song will get some owls. All right. Okay, that's just as good. Just as good. Terrible. You recommend I play a level called Amethyst? Well, I've already played Amethyst, and let me tell you, I think I was going to beat the whole thing, but I was just having a lot of trouble with this jump at the very beginning. I would describe it as the first jump, and I think if I could have gotten through the first jump, I would have been able to do the whole level. But you see, I just couldn't get past it, so, you know, that was my roadblock. And yes, I tell that joke every time someone recommends it. I think it's a good joke. I'm not tired of telling it yet. I think it's pretty hard for an insane level. Ah, why not jump? Why not? Blah. Okay, we can just not jump there. That would be good too. I was saying to myself the whole time, just jump, and then I didn't. You know, too many mind. One more time. Man. Nope. Have I beaten Club Step? No, I have not. I beat it on practice mode, and I said, I'm never coming back here again. That probably isn't true, but that is what I said. I got so mad at Club Step that I started playing Death Moon, and that's what led to, you know, the 20 hours of Death Moon crash. Yeah, I've only been playing the level since, you know, yesterday, but I have played it for like 8 hours, right? So it would be nice to beat it. It would have been nice to have beaten it an hour and a half ago. Or last night. But you can't go back in time. Whoops. My heart says Death Moon. Alright. Nope. Bad. Y'all should know by now that if I ever get there, I'm just gonna hit the roof. Get used to disappointment. I know, so you're gonna cry. I'm the one who has to spend the rest of my life here. Nope. Whoops. Man, haven't missed that jump in a couple hundred tries. Taking me back all the way to when I was learning. feels bad. Just some memorization is done. I'm bad at that. Look, I am super good at memorizing things, but I mean like words and their relationship to concepts, but not. Look, I could tell you where all the images are at, but when you say click this one and not that one, that's where I don't remember. If there are 3 orbs and I have to hit the second one, I won't remember that. I'll just accidentally do it sometimes. Maybe half of the time. My hardest is Death Moon. Okay, let's just not hit that. Got it. Okay, let's just not hit that. Okay. All right. Nope. Felt it. Knew it was wrong. Knew it was wrong briefly before we crashed. I've done it right enough times to where I know if it's wrong, but not enough to do it right. That's the distinction. That's the true difference at the heart of it. Because of course the game will tell you if you did it wrong. You just gotta wait 15 more frames and you'll know. The game will tell you. Poor Sir Green Blockington. He's sometimes the last to know if he's gonna perish. Oh no! Oh boy! Thought we were toast there. Ended up sliding somehow and converting it out. So that feels good. Let's just do this. That was close. Well, I remembered to jump. I mean, I did it wrong, but I remembered. It was vaguely close to being right, but, you know, not. Hanko, if I win at this point, it won't be a lucky win. I'm on attempt like 3,500. Ain't no luck and playing a level for 8 hours and then finally beating it. That's being bad. Luck would have been beaten it ages ago. But yeah, I mean, I've been 97%, I've been 94 on here. I got the practice. I just gotta play right one time. But I will not consider any run where we win to be a lucky run, merely a successful one. Whoops. Okay. That's a bad miss. Okay. Just roll right off of it. Got it. Excellent. Good. Okay, let's just miss the button. Have I played any platformer levels, you asked, Test Subject Blue? Only a couple of them, not like extensively. There's this one tower one that I played very early in my Geometry Dash career, you know, like in October of last year. Early in my Geometry Dash career. And then recently I've been recommended a couple other ones that I played briefly. The other day I played one that was like it had like a hot and cold section and like temperature gauges, to where like you could overheat or underheat if you were like standing on the wrong places. So that was just don't input. Got it. Just don't input there for the ship. That's a way to play. That's a way to do it. Later, Anosa. Thanks for hanging out. Whoops. Hey, DK, good morning. Been seized. What do you mean, no way I got 97 on this? Yes, I did. It's all documented right here. You could go back in the stream. I got the 97 before the 94. I don't remember the exact time, but... Yep, I clipped poor Sir Green Blockington's little tiny bald head on the ceiling just briefly before we wouldn't have had to be here anymore. That was hours ago. And we are, of course, still here. Whoops. What time is it in America? I'm in Central Standard Time, so it is about to be noon for me. But it is between, 1 p.m. and wherever Hawaii is at. I don't know. They're probably like 8 hours away from us. Arca, you say you're beating Stack Up in Circles? I've played that level for a couple percentage. Somebody trolled me with it, But they did say you could get over the first jump, so I got over that and maybe like one other input. It was more than 1%. I forget how many. All right. Yep, that's great. That's a good way to bonk your head there. Thought it was a good line. Clearly wasn't. You say I played Electrodynamix for 2 hours straight? I played for like 4 hours straight yesterday. There's one of my earlier videos, some dude left a comment, because like this is before I did practice mode, so it took me 1,064 attempts to beat Jumper, right? And they left a comment on one of the 4-hour videos where I hadn't beat Jumper. It was like, bro took 4 hours and didn't even beat Jumper, and I'm just like, you have no idea how high I can fly when it comes to disappointing people with my progress. Yeah, and you say I have more patience than half the Earth's population. This is not true. I'm maybe in this specific context, but I am a very emotionally immature person and have very rarely been described as patient. But it's nice of you to say so. I preferred the descriptor persistent. Or, obsessed. Troublingly focused. Platinum Adventures should be an insane level. I mean, yeah, maybe. I beat it, and I thought this is easier than I thought, kinda. It didn't take me 5,000 attempts. Shiver and Death Moon were the demons that I've beat where I was like, yeah, this should be a demon. But Lightning Road and Nightmare and maybe Plat Adventures, I'm just like, I don't know if this is hard enough to maybe it should be. Cool, Natasha. Yeah, we'll throw you the wrench if it looks like people are being problematic. I know I don't want to put all that obligation onto you, but I appreciate the offer. I did figure out, Natasha, I figured out the other day how to authorize you. You're an authorized user, so if people get wild, I can like hit a button and shut down the chat, but you can still talk. And it like won't auto moderate your comments or whatever. So because I was thinking of the other day, I was like, man, if I have to turn everybody off, then the people that are always around that I want to definitely talk to won't be able to be seen. And then one of my friends was like, I think there's a setting for that. So I found it. Most favored viewer status. Oh yeah, let's go. Alright, Natasha, and there we go. Me telling you that will be commemorated forever with my glorious victory. Thank you, thank you, thank you, everyone. They said that it couldn't be done. They said you're old. They said you're bald. They said you don't know anything. And I am old. And I am bald. But we all see what it says on the screen. Level complete. 3,570 attempts later, Electrodynamix is checked it off. You put that in the book. You put it into an envelope. You put it into the bank, and we never ever have to look at it again. Yan 4D with a very generous donation. Thank you very much for your generous contribution. It's very awesome of you. Thank you so much. Means a lot. But yeah, what's next? What's next is I gotta run some errands. But when we return for more Geometry Dash, which will probably be tonight, really, it'll be Dash. Dash is what we gotta work on. That'll be the next thing to do. But that's, yeah, it's about time, right? Yeah, Natasha, $10 per level. Yeah, at this rate. But yeah. Anyway, so wonderful. We were gonna, yeah, the skeletal thing. We're just gonna try it on practice mode a bit, just to get a little bit of this for the fun. Demo, I just beat it. Roblox is good. Did I drop Death Moon? No, I beat Death Moon. I beat Death Moon on Saturday. But yeah, we're gonna try this little shenanigan thing a little bit. We're gonna put our auto checkpoints on and see what's going on with this map. All right, so we can't see anything for the Jam Gauntlet CC. Click to skip. All right, so the first 10% is free. And then nope. No. Alright, so we gotta do this, and then there. Oh, and then I don't know. What a fascinating level. Haha. Nope. Yeah, let's go ahead and tag the name, because it is 100%. And actually, it's already midnight, so I think we probably won't do too much of this, because it's already midnight. It's already noon, but I very much need to go and run some errands, because I am deeply averse to the traffic that will happen if I wait too much longer. But so here we need to go to the roof and down there to bounce there, and then I don't know what's going on with that. All right, so man, this is oh man, I'd never. I don't get it. I don't. No. No. This level's beautiful and it's very interesting. I just don't know. I don't know how to play. Is it? It's a medium demon. Yeah, it's a medium demon. I guess it's XL length, which would do it. But anyway, yeah, I gotta go. I gotta get on this whole errand thing for my midday. I only have to go on an errand once every long while, but you know, we did it, right? We did it, guys. So thank you so much, everyone, for your support through all of Electrodynamix. Feels real good. Feels real good to crack it out. Thanks again, Jan4D, for your generous donation. Just watched a video of somebody playing the skeleton boss. Yeah, you know, if I had like an hour to bash through the practices, I maybe would, but I need to get on with my day so I can come home and play more video games. But thank you, everyone. Bye, Natasha. Bye, Jan4D. Thank you again. Goodbye, everyone. Your support means so much to me. I'm so glad we got to beat this level, and thank you for watching. Thanks for listening. If you're watching in the future, I hope the weather is nice, and perhaps I'll see you in another stream or video, but that's all for me right now. See you guys later.